This is a poem about growing up with black skin. No, not brown skin, not fair skin, not the lightness belonging to a 𝗙𝗧𝗦. I'm talking dark, rich, melanated, glistening skin that ignited itself in the sun, that in spite of me trying to inspire myself to overcome, I could not expunge my self-loathing for it. This is not a poem about self-love. This is a poem about the psychological displacement, self-hatred, which started in school with me witnessing kids with skin the same color as mine get struck dead by bullying, whilst I stood by and did nothing out of terror of being identified as even uglier than I had already thought that I was. I had already been taught that I was. I did nothing. This is a poem about that time in third form that girl looked me dead in the eyes as I walked past her. She said to me, with the familiar conviction of a Pentecostal pastor, you look like a 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗦 donkey. And I was merely walking to class. Do you see, this is not a poem about growing up black. This is a poem about growing up with black skin, which is a different thing. This is a different thing. For me, it was everything as a kid. It was insecurity and insanity all at once. It was me quickly getting used to being the dark, ugly duckling in every friend setting. It was those same friends being terrified to look like me. It was my obsession with overpriced lightning creams. It was me giving up an entire tennis scholarship because sports would mean sun, and sun would mean rays, and rays would mean me risking more blackness. Shit. This is a poem about some serious pain. This is a poem about an immense amount of shame because I was immediately disqualified from unspoken beauty contests. Every time I entered a room, everyone else was always light enough to reflect whilst I could only glisten. Listen, this is a poem about years of yearning to take a blade to my skin and scrape away. This is a poem about saving up to go to America because mommy once told me that in the winter my darkness could fade. This is a poem about rage at God because out of all palettes of paint, why would he choose for me this shade? But this is also a poem about change, about growth and introspection and interrogation and rejection of colonial indoctrination. Gazing into the television at my favorite characters, white boys with wavy blonde hair, whiter girls with straight brunette hair, asking, where am I? Where am I? Why am I not represented on this screen, on this stage, in this space? Holding the TV, looking in, shaking it, asking, who am I? This is a poem about listening to my baby sister. Beautiful Carissa is her name. It means grace. Listening to her talk about the same bullying experiences, seeing similar familiar pain staining her adorable, precious little face. This is a poem about me deciding then that this disgrace is enough. I will not stand for this any longer. My baby sister does not deserve to feel any inferior because of her skin color. Colorism is sick. This is a poem about revolt. And it took my little sister, yes it did, looking up at me from a glorious dark-skinned face for me to begin posting my pictures in whatever shade the sun, the camera, the lens in your eyes decides to capture it. Capture this. Take out your phones and capture this because this is a poem that I never thought that I could perform. This is a poem about me reclaiming my Carissa, my grace. This is a poem about dark-skinned, #melanin, #Nubian queen not being a mistake or a fad or a trend. This is a poem about a little dark-skinned girl, now a larger dark-skinned girl whose confidence is on the mend. This is a poem about the beauty that this dark-skinned woman never lacked. A poem about the self-compassion and art that was burnt out of me, taking so long to internalize that. This is a poem about dismantling the canonical ideology perpetuated in colonial history that darkness is synonymous with bad things and that goodness can only be packaged in light. I am good. I am dark and I am good. I am dark and there is lightness in me, not but, and. And there is darkness in me too. And lightness and darkness and goodness can all coexist. They do. I am living proof. This is a poem about a very personal emancipation story, but one that belongs to many dark-skinned girls. This is a poem for black-skinned babies, black-skinned infants, black-skinned young ladies. You are beautiful, and you are loved. Like I said, this is a poem about growing up with black skin. But I guess that this is also a poem about self-love. This is a poem about me finally feeling free to fall in love with the sun.